talking about EA's E3 press conference. Now, same day, Bethesda. I'm not gonna lie, again, just like with EA, I missed a couple of the first parts of Bethesda's thing, so you're gonna have to cue me in into about Doom.
I don't even remember what was first.
The first thing Bethesda showed was Quake. There's a new Quake coming.
Really surprising. Not as surprising, because there was rumors beforehand that someone was working on Quake, but it was thought to be Machine Game, which did the Wolfenstein games.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's id, and they just released Doom, kind of makes me think that it's quite a ways out. I don't know how many people work at id Software, though. And maybe they have two teams.
I know nothing about id Software. Honestly, I know nothing about Bethesda. I just love their games.
Actually, I know just like one little funny story about Bethesda, or id, just from watching all kinds of Angry Video Game Nerd. Apparently, with the first Wolfenstein, they didn't really like how Nintendo did their version of it, because they made it more...
if you say kid friendly,
they made it less like violent. They took out all the German stuff, all the Nazi stuff. I think
that's boring,
and the blood and stuff.
That's boring.
Isn't that like 75% of Wolfenstein then?
Yeah. So what they did was
this is coming from a person who basically has never played Wolfenstein.
I'm pretty sure there's a boss fight with like Hitler's head and a robot. So I'm like awesome. 90%. I don't know.
So apparently, what they might have done, again, this might just be rumor, but what I heard the video say, that they gave their game to this Christian company, Wisdom Tree.
Oh God!
So there's only one unlicensed Nintendo game for the SNES, and it's called like Super Noah's Ark 3D. And it's Wolfenstein 3D, only instead of shooting Nazis, you shoot goats. And
goats?
Yeah.
That sounds riveting. I'm so happy I never played that game.
I don't know about all you losers. I kind of want to go home and find that. I'm sure there's an emulator out there somewhere for it.
Oh, probably, yeah.
For doing video feature, Keith, put up a picture of that. Just put it up right now. Do it.
Shooting goats.
All right.
Goat Simulator. The first.
No, you don't. Fuck you, God!
Oh my God. Anybody ever play Quake?
No.
I'm not even really sure what
older
it is.
Quakes before, like just straight up classic arena shooter.
Is it just multiplayer stuff? There's no like story to it.
To be honest with you, I don't really know. I've only seen just multiplayer stuff of it in the past. In comparison, it's kind of like smaller arena Halo multiplayer, like Halo 2. I'm gonna say specifically Halo 2 because Halo 2 was the best.
I put the most time into Halo 2's multiplayer. This is true.
So basically, just those smaller kind of arenas where you're just running around, just killing the shit out of each other. It looks pretty interesting. I mean, I've never been a huge Quake person, given that I've never even played one at all. But it looks pretty cool. Looks like a lot of mayhem and destruction and killing and just your good classic arena multiplayer.
I'm really curious how far along this is. Is this like it's just now happening, or is this it does have two teams, and while one was working on Doom, the other was working on Quake? Because I think that's what Naughty Dog did with Uncharted and The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Uncharted 2 team finished and then started Last of Us. Or maybe it was Uncharted 3 team. I can't. Just ignore me. There's two teams at Naughty Dog.
And Uncharted was finished, and then The Last of Us started. And then on the side, another Uncharted was started. There we go.
Speaking of The Last of Us, this is going to be for our Sony press conference later, but I did hear something interesting today that I want to bring up during it.
Okay.
So, Quake, nobody's ever played it, not really sure what it is. Fallout 4 DLC.
Yes.
Was there only 2 DLCs? The vault building, and then the like Nuka-Cola place or whatever?
I think so. I'm drawing a blank, but I definitely remember making your own vault, because it basically just looks like, to me anyways, besides sending people out on quests, which is coming with the new update of Fallout Shelter or whatever.
Yeah.
It basically just seems like a better version, or a different kind of version of Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Inside of Fallout 4.
Which is slightly worrisome because it got a little weird with Fallout Shelter that I won't go into, but I may have started a cycle, and I may have drawn a family tree, and I may have plotted to kill people in my vault to make sense of my warped story.
What kind of fucking game is this?
It's the circle of life, man. It's
nothing like I'm describing it.
And all that shit.
I made a family. One day I'll tell you all about it, and I'll show you my. I think I know
everything about your.
Have I told you about
Shelter?
Have I told you about
your stuff. How you would basically just promote. Like royal families, more or less. Like you would only like mate people with like other people who are also awesome. So that you would have like pure bloodlines.
For the sake of time, let's go into this next week. If we do it next week,
okay.
Yeah, but talking about Fallout in general, I just want to touch on this real fast. I really like Fallout 4. I've barely played Fallout 4 because for some reason I love open world games like this, and I love Bethesda, but I just cannot get into Fallout like I can the Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls is my preferred series.
But Fallout 4 is definitely the best Fallout in my opinion. Because
I can agree with that.
It has, the shooting mechanics especially are really, really, really well done compared to the other ones, because I tried 3 in New Vegas and absolutely hated it. So I really enjoy the shooting in particular for Fallout 4.
This is just something I heard. I don't know if this is true. That when they were making Fallout 4, where Bethesda owns id now, they had people from id come in that were responsible for like shooting and then help them tweak Fallout 4. But that may not be true.
Well, whatever they did it right.
They did. It was a lot better. I enjoyed it.
I'm still pissed off that Piper randomly started shooting me out of nowhere, and I haven't been back to the game since.
Did you kill a bitch?
Rip.
Huh?
Did you kill a bitch?
I tried. I was in her house. She started shooting me. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So I go outside, and then all the officers and stuff in Diamond City start shooting at me.
Man, you fucked
I'm
up.
like, what the fuck did I do?
You existed.
Do what I do.
Apparently so.
Do what I do and start a new character like every couple weeks, because you just forget what you've done and just want to start fresh.
See, I want to do that, but at the same time I don't, because I'm not that type of player that likes to restart after I gotten so far into it. I'll try my best to try to figure out where I was last, but in this case, I'm just going to have to do it anyways. Fuck Piper!
To zone in on DLC real quick.
Anybody interested?
What were they again?
It's like the vault building, and then
vault building.
There was like this Nuka-Cola park thing.
Yeah. I could get interested into the vault stuff.
Nah, not me.
I love building stuff like that.
I don't have a creative bone in my body.
I spent like a few hours, I know at least once or twice, just like making a house for myself. So I could definitely get into the vault building stuff for sure.
You don't have a creative bone in your body, however, in our Minecraft world, you built like some of the most amazing towers I've seen in a while.
He's a wizard. He's a Minecraft wizard, both figuratively and literally.
The key behind that is I watched videos that told me how to do it.
You built them.
Whatever gets the job done. It's not cheating, you're just using your resources.
Exactly. My tower is pretty bitching.
It is bitching.
And the Nuka world or whatever it was called, I mean, all you saw was just like a pan up and zoom out kind of thing. So
there's people walking around. I don't have a clue.
Yeah. So,
but
I mean, it looks interesting enough. I mean, the vault stuff does to me. I like, we don't really know much about the quote unquote amusement park thing, but I mean, it could be cool.
I think it's highly doubtful that I'll ever play really Fallout 4 again. I feel like I'm done with it.
I might play it tonight just to say I did go back to it, fuckers.
I didn't get any of the DLC, the previous 3. Whatever.
All right. Well, the next one.
I want you all to know.
The next one. Oh my God. I'm still just so fucking happy that this is happening. I'm so happy that I dropped the F-bomb. Because Skyrim is coming back. Oh my God. I absolutely loved Skyrim. Skyrim is one of my favorite games of all time.
So tell me this again. We were in the chat party and you were doing it, and then all I hear in my ears when it started happening was you going, And I think he told me you basically couldn't even watch the trailer because you were just rolling around in the floor in excitement.
I couldn't even human at the time because I was just laying back in my bed just screaming obnoxiously because I saw the first part where it shows the PlayStation 3 graphics. And then it flips over to PlayStation 4. And I immediately was just like, oh my God!
It is impressive.
And then I was just rolled in my bed just yelling. I was like, oh my God, Jason! Ah! And I basically missed 90% of the trailer because I was just screaming my ass off. I am so happy for this. My only relative concern is that the trailer that they showed no remnants of DLC. And I'm really hoping that they also bring forward the DLC.
I'm pretty sure they said they have. It's come with. At least I'm pretty sure. I may be getting confused with rumors, but I think they said DLC comes too.
But that is definitely my number. I'll say it right now. That is my number one from E3. I cannot wait to play Skyrim again.
Shit, I don't know what my number one from E3 is.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have one. I have to think about it.
You may have it in date
10/28/16. I basically got it scratched in my arm. I will not forget that date.
You've got the Skyrim tattooed, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I have a Dragon Shout tattoo on my wrist. Fus Roda. Unrelenting force. Force. Balance. Push.
I just came a little bit.
Fus Roda. Yeah, I think it's a kick-ass wrist tattoo.
It's pretty cool,
Dragon Shout. Yeah. So it looks very Skyrim-y.
Because it's from Skyrim.
Pray. I mean,
you don't tell me how to do my religious beliefs there, Puddy.
I kind of I was just, whenever I watched the conference, I was just in such an awe about that Skyrim remaster that I just basically didn't pay attention to Prey at all.
Prey confuses me because while I didn't play the first one, even though it's still just titled Prey, so there's going to be 2 Preys out there. Probably should have thought that through a little bit, but...
Well, I mean, in a defense to that, there's a Tomb Raider, and then there's also another Tomb Raider.
Oh my God.
So
it's like Tomb Raider 19-something, Tomb Raider 2000-something.
Anyway, my dad played this game, and I watched him play it, and he really liked it. It is absolutely nothing like what this trailer I saw. It was like you're on an Indian reservation, Native American, or whatever, and you're abducted by aliens, and you got to fight your way through this spaceship, and at the end you kill the mother alien or whatever. I don't have a clue what this one is. You're on a space station, your eye turns red. Yep. Monster shit happens.
The trailer initially made me think of Groundhog Day because the same thing just kept happening for the first minute.
Yeah. I don't know. It's also kind of interesting because I'm pretty sure it's Arcane that's doing Prey. And they were originally doing Prey 2. They may have made the first Prey. I don't know. But
what else did Arcane do?
Arcane...
Aren't they the ones doing Quake?
No, that's it.
No, that's it. What was the other one? Arcane was Dishonored.
Yeah.
That's what...
Dishonored, yeah.
That's what it was.
But they were doing Prey 2, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And there was an event, and all these journalists went, and they saw it, and then that was the end of it. It was never heard from again. And then maybe a year or 2 ago, Bethesda kind of quietly came out and said, yeah, it's been canceled. So I just think it's kind of interesting that it's come back. I don't know if this is what they had, because I don't even know what Prey 2 was.
Well, for me anyways, given the fact that it's just Prey, I feel like it's a reboot.
I don't think it is, just for what I know about the first Prey game. If it's a reboot, it's a full-on reboot, where it's not even the same story.
Oh. Okay. Doom DLC.
Well, Keith and I were talking about this before, because we don't know what the heck it was. Was it the Snap Map stuff?
Yeah, Snap Map stuff. First of all, the Snap Map feature in Doom is awesome.
I have yet to play Doom, so yeah, I definitely want to try it, though, for sure.
Get that demo.
Yeah.
But that Snap Map stuff, just like the Fallout, the Shelter Vault DLC, basically the same concept, more or less, when it comes to that. You just snap shit together, and there you go. Yeah. And I was talking to Jason about this. There was a PS2 game. I don't know if there was a third one made, but I know there were two of them. There was Time Splitters and Time Splitters 2.
Yep.
And they had a map creator in it, and it was like Snapmatic, where you just had different pieces and hallways and different styles and stuff, and you just piece it all together, and you can make your custom multiplayer maps. And I love that kind of stuff. So I mean, if I ever get Doom anytime soon, I'll definitely try map making for sure. Because I love, sorry to interrupt, in terms of making maps, Far Cry. Like Far Cry 2 and Far Cry 3, they had the map editors.
I remember John showed me that.
I love the map editors in
That's
Far
pretty
Cry.
crazy. Like, you basically, it wasn't like you just started out a blank slate and then you could, like, raise and lower the ground. And...
Yeah, you can change, you can add mountains and stuff, and then they actually had, like rendered pieces like cliff sides and rocks and stuff, so you could add more detail and make it actually look like a cliff instead of just a big cone.
That's really
cool. You could actually make it look more like a mountain and stuff. And especially with Far Cry 3, you could actually add AI people in, like enemies, like random enemies, and also animals.
I didn't know that.
You could have like predators, like the panthers and cheetahs and stuff, and have sharks in the water, along with AI computer combatants. And then you could play a match like team versus team plus all the predators and all the other people, and it's kind of like a little, like a condensed Halo. What's the Halo 5 thing?
Forge.
No. Warzone.
Warzone. Oh.
Yeah, it's you could go in and essentially make your own like Warzone kind of thing. So it was pretty neat. I love map editor stuff, so Doom, the Snapmatic stuff, definitely up my alley.
Right now, Snap Maps do not have the weapon wheel that single player does.
Really?
But with the new DLC coming up, it will be adding it. So that is a huge improvement, because what makes it different from multiplayer is the fact that it's supposed to be single player. You're not supposed to... Like, you can do multiplayer maps there, too, but you're supposed to have the option of doing single player and multiplayer. And without that option of having the weapon wheel, which is in single player, you can have as many weapons as you want. I just didn't find it right that it was there, or that it wasn't there. So the fact that it's coming into the game, finally, for Snap Maps is pretty cool. I like it a lot. Something else that's not mentioned on here, though, that goes along with more extra stuff into the game is the Elder Scrolls stuff.
The card game?
Yeah, the card game.
And
it's
not on this list.
It's not on the list, but they do mention it in the live stream, because I just see it right here.
I forgot about that. I mean, I'm not a card game person, but Jason is.
Yeah. I just started playing Hearthstone, and when I was looking at what card game to get into, because I've played WoW, but I'm not like the biggest fan of World of Warcraft. I found I remembered that there was going to be an Elder Scrolls card game. I was like, I haven't heard anything about this, so I'll look into it. It looks pretty cool. I was really kind of banking on, like, last year they had, and Fallout Shelter's available now. I was like, it'd be really awesome if it's, and Elder Scrolls Legends, or whatever the heck it's called, is available now, but whatever.
I definitely could have seen that coming, though, if it did happen. Because as soon as you brought that up, I was like, I feel like they could just straight up do that. Because didn't they preview it back last E3?
Yeah, it was at last year's E3.
Yeah, so I definitely saw the possibility once you mentioned that they could be like, you could buy it now. And, which was kind of a cool move they pulled with Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Todd Howard's the man. And he's just up there and he's just like, it's available now. Here's a new, app. Build your own vault, manage these people or whatever, and you can do it right now.
I still have it on my phone.
We never talked about it up until this point, but it's available right now.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Kind of how like something Ubisoft did later on, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
And Elder Scrolls Online.
Yes.
The Woo girl.
For sure.
Woo!
ESO, yes. That girl was going crazy about ESO.
She was. That was pretty funny. I enjoyed that.
Have you seen the video online from GameSpot? I think it's from GameSpot. Every time the girl yells, there's a goat picture, right, or a goat video right after.
I can definitely see that, for sure.
That's funny.
ESO, I'm actually a little bit more interested in now.
Really?
Yeah. And
I can see why.
I'll tell you exactly why. And you know why, but I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
For one, they're bringing the Dark Brotherhood, which is pretty awesome. But also, they talked about later this year that Tamriel 1 update, where you could just, from the start, as soon as you finish the tutorial, you can explore the whole world. You're not cut off by any level restrictions or anything like that. It doesn't matter what faction you're in. You can play with anybody, anyone you want, anytime you want. I mean, and go anywhere you want. So that's pretty awesome to me. So I'm definitely probably going to get back into it this fall for sure.
I can see why. I don't know if I will. I've tried to play Elder Scrolls Online.
And I enjoyed it whenever we played it. It's just everybody slowly fell off.
Yeah.
And it's not very fun to play by yourself.
I
don't think it is anyways.
Did they give an amount of people that still play this game? Because I heard somewhere...
It's a decent amount. I mean, it got MMO of the year last year.
Yeah, I heard somewhere saying that they had 7 million people playing. If they do, that's crazy.
So
because I'm pretty sure that's around what WoW is now. Don't quote me that. I know at one point it was 11 million.
You are totally quoted on that. Just saying.
Oh.
But ESO, yeah.
Take my word for it. I am always
I'm definitely for sure going to try it again once Tamriel 1, the Tamriel 1 update gets released.
I might. I'll probably
because I'm all for just
pick it up again.
Having fun, exploring and stuff like that. Because right now the way it is, depending on what faction you're in, you're only allowed in certain areas of the whole map, and now you'll be able to go wherever.
Well, it was like after you hit 50 and did like all your faction stuff, you could go through and do all the other faction stuff. But yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
But it was like you wouldn't run into anybody else that was like part of that faction. It was like heroic areas, I guess it would be called. Like it's past level 50 stuff.
Oh, okay. I didn't know any of that, but
I think it's like veteran ranks or whatever.
Tamriel 1 definitely for me. I'm all for as soon as you finish the tutorial, go have fun.
Yeah.
You can almost play it like the single player Elder Scrolls in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Dishonored 2, the final thing that Bethesda showed off this year. If you're interested in stealth games, if you're interested in just first person, be quiet, but you can have different forms of getting to the objective, I think this is the game for you. But I don't know. I'm with it like I was with the original Dishonored. I don't know if I like it or not. Even though I do have Dishonored 1, I didn't play it that much.
It just drug on for me.
I never played Dishonored. I love stealth type games. I love that kind of stuff. I love Splinter Cell and stuff like that, where you could sneak around, or even in talking about Elder Scrolls, more so Skyrim than Oblivion. Because I feel like the sneaking in Skyrim was really refined. It was like perfect for me. But I always loved being that stealthy character. And like I said, stuff like Splinter Cell, sneaking around in the shadows, taking dudes out, even Ghost Recon and stuff like that. Most of the time, Clancy games, there's always an aspect of stealth in it. And I love stealth stuff for sure. And but I've never played Dishonored, and I don't know what it is. I've just never been. I've seen some stuff, and I know people that have played it and really enjoy it, but I just never could get myself to be like, all right, let's try this.
The interesting part to me for this one was the part whenever she's outside. I'm guessing you're playing as a girl right now.
I think you can play as a girl or Corvo.
I think it was a girl during
they used the girl during the demo.
Yeah.
But isn't the dude the guy from the first one?
Yeah, his name's Corvo.
Yeah.
I think.
And she's standing on top of that little chalice, and you can see I think it shows her feet down there. It's perfectly it's very. I'm not saying it right. Frick.
Words, Keith. Words.
Just forget it. I don't know.
Speak, man. Speak. Use your
that
voice.
part looked cool to me, but whenever she turned into dust and like a ghost-looking figure, I was just like,
the
scary monster,
the shadow stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah,
but it was crawling around and stuff.
Yeah,
that's new. I don't think that was in the first game.
I was just like, man, I want to.
Don't the two have specific skill sets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, different skill sets. I mean, it looks kind of interesting.
It looks pretty.
I mean, honestly, I probably won't try it, but once again, it goes under that category of something I could watch somebody play.
Mm-hmm. I don't have very many of those type of games. I like playing the games no matter what.
There's certain games where I can get equal or more excitement out of watching somebody play, as long as they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Watching somebody play than actually playing it myself. So.
I don't know about this one. I'd try it, I guess, but it'd just be like the original Dishonored. I'd probably never pick it up after one playthrough.
No, I'm not even going to try it.
Yeah, me neither, probably. Like I said, if somebody's around and has it, I'll watch them play it, but that's about it for me.
It's not my kind of game. I don't like the stealth stuff.
Interesting for certain people, but not for us.
Different strokes?
Different folks.
Different folks, yes.
So this has been Bethesda's conference here, officially ending day -1 of E3.
So stupid.
So now we go on to day 0, which has Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, and PC Gaming.
Nah, screw PC Gaming.
Alright, we'll screw PC Gaming.
I also don't care how you had that out of order. It was Microsoft, Ubisoft, and then Sony. Get it right.
Are you really going to get at me for this right now?
But before we end, final thoughts about Bethesda.
I thought it was great up until Dishonored 2. That's just because I don't like Dishonored.
I can see that. I agree with that. I mean, their showcase for me is like basically like a mountain peak. It starts with Quake at the bottom of one side. It builds up. They talk about Fallout. And then they get the freaking Skyrim remaster, and I just lose my shit. And then, just kind of roll softly downhill from there.
I can agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's just one big mountain. I mean, Skyrim is just, it's also kind of a pun towards Skyrim because...
It's mountains everywhere.
Yeah, there's mountains and stuff. So, it just builds up to Skyrim, and then it just kind of falls off. But overall, it was all pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, I liked it.
For the most part, I liked...
10/28/16.
I liked
Skyrim
it a
remaster.
lot.
Special edition. Ugh.
Pre-order now.
Pre-order it now.
I liked it a lot. I'm definitely going to do a trade-in, which I never do to get Skyrim.
He's doing a trade-in. Somebody write it down.
I have a Legendary Edition for PS3 for Skyrim.
I'm sorry.
So I might just get rid of that and get the Special Edition for PS4. Just because I'm never going to play a PS3 game again, I don't think.
I had the perfect setup before they did that Legendary update. And I never did the Legendary update because I wanted to keep doing the Augma Infinium glitch. So I would make another character, and then I'd get to 15 where you could do the quest to get the book.
Yeah.
And then I would just instantly bump myself to the max level. So I never did that Legendary update.
In total, I feel like Bethesda did a really good job again this year, just like they did last year. But honestly, even though EA had that Madden part that I just didn't care for, looking back on it, I think EA, to me, had the better choice of games that I'm interested in. Well,
their showcase was bigger for sure.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
The problem was they didn't have anything to show.
Yeah. What I was interested in the first place, they showed very little of, except with the exception of Battlefield. Mm-hmm. Mass Effect, they didn't show too much, but it looked beautiful like we talked about. And then, they showed a good bit of Battlefield 1, which, looks great. But anything else for me from EA wasn't
I think they showed just enough to me to where they kept my interest. The FIFA single-player mode was interesting. The Battlefield 1 was amazing. V was cool. While there's more games on Bethesda I might be more interested in playing, Dishonored 2 not one of them. Honestly, I feel like even though they didn't have much compared to Bethesda, what I'm going to play more is probably stuff from EA instead of Bethesda.
EA had quantity. Bethesda had quality, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But that's it for Bethesda right now. Overall, it was pretty good, I think.
A good first -1 day.
That's so stupid.
At least they weren't like 10 minutes late like fucking EA was.
Oh my god.
Everybody was just like, when are they going to start? When are they going to start? And then finally, it happened. 10 minutes later.
They're like the president. He always says he's going to start talking, and then it takes him like a half hour later. So,
but it also doesn't help that he takes like 10-second pauses in between all the words.
That's true. He definitely extends his conversations and his speeches more.
When I talk, I like to do this kind of stuff.
It's the gray hair. It's getting
boo boo bee boo.
That's pretty good.
I
enjoy this. I enjoy everything
out of the office, so I don't really care.
All right, so this has been the Bethesda part of our podcast. Stay tuned because we're going to have the rest of Day 0 And then I think we're also going to do Nintendo. Y'all want to do Nintendo too?
I had to watch it first.
Yeah, I did not watch Nintendo at all. I have zero interest.
The only thing I know is they talked about Zelda and Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I'm really only interested in Legend of Zelda, and that probably still isn't going to be enough for me to even buy a console and the game.
I'm not going to buy a Wii U for it, but depending what the NX is, we'll talk.
Part 3 coming soon, which is
Microsoft.
Microsoft is next.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Exactly. Sock it to me.
Sock it to me.